Hi everybody, my name is Eric Olson. I'm a third-year law student. I'm also in a joint program with an LLM in real estate development. I'm going to tell you a little bit about living in the Grove, and I've had a great experience there. It's an unbelievable place to live. It's very close to school. It's about 10 minutes away, about that with a little bit of traffic. It's a very quiet neighborhood. There are lots of families, there are lots of dogs, there are lots of parks. People are very active. They bike, they run around the Grove. It doesn't feel like Miami when you're living there. It doesn't have the busyness of downtown Brickell or downtown Miami itself or South Beach. It's much more of a different caliber of people that are very relaxed and chill, if you will. So it depends on what you want. If you want something like Brickell with high rises and condominium living, then go for that. The Grove has a lot of smaller apartments, a lot of duplexes. I currently live in a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family home. As far as proximity to restaurants, shops, parks, I live about 2 blocks from the downtown area called Coco Walk, and there are a bunch of restaurants in there. There's Cheesecake Factory, there's Chili's, there's a bunch of other smaller restaurants, French bistro-style restaurants. There are a couple of Spanish restaurants there. It's got a Peruvian restaurant. I think there's a South American steakhouse there as well. So there's everything within about a 5 to 10 minute walking distance, and which is nice because it saves on parking, because they generally charge about $5 to $10 for parking on Thursdays through Saturdays. As far as shops go, there are smaller shops. You don't have access to a mall per se, but I also live a few blocks from a Home Depot and from Milam's, which is a nice grocery store. It's a small family-owned grocery store. There's also a fresh market in that area. There's a very popular spot that first-year law students love to go on Fridays for happy hour. It's called Monty's. That's very close on the water on the bayside. And there's also a maybe a more casual version of Monty's called Scotty's Landing, which is about a block away from Monty's by City Hall. That's about all I have to say about the Grove. I hope you enjoy. Good luck.
Hi, my name is Jared Hanna, and I'm a 3L here at the University of Miami Law School. I've lived in Coral Gables all 3 years while I've attended the school. I live on the part closest to campus, right on Red Road. It's just a few blocks walk here. I usually make it to school in less than 10 minutes. The feel around the campus is much more suburban than a lot of the other living areas in Miami, so for people with dogs and kids, you may enjoy living here because you have access to a lot of parks. As you go farther north in Coral Gables, you have downtown Coral Gables, which is Miracle Mile. They have more high-rise style living there, and they have the advantages of Miracle Mile is filled with shops and restaurants that you can walk to. It's only a short drive from campus, and the drive does not include driving up or down US 1, which tends to have a lot of traffic. It makes it easier to predict how long it's going to take you to get to campus. While it is a slightly more urban-feeling environment than Coral Gables around campus, it still has a lot of area that you can walk your dogs. It's not far from parks. Some of the minuses are that you still do have to drive to campus, which includes finding parking, and there may be some commute time depending on the traffic from there. The other option in Coral Gables would be to actually get several friends together and rent houses throughout the suburbs. This can greatly drive down the cost if you get enough people and you have the full amenities of a house. Again, taking the Metro Rail downtown is very easy, especially if you live near the campus. You can just get on from here and be at work shortly. But from downtown Coral Gables to downtown Miami, you're going to probably have to take your car and deal with traffic both ways. My advice as a 1L would be to live as close to campus as possible because you're going to spend a lot more time here. You're not going to have a job. Your life is going to revolve a little bit more around being on campus and doing work here in groups and with other students. So Coral Gables, one of the huge advantages is it's the easiest to get to and from campus, whether it be walking or the short drive. As you get older, you may want to move closer to where you work if you're working for a law firm or doing an externship for a government agency. But during the first year, when your time is spent here at school, it's great to live as close as possible. Also, the amenities that you need of the gym and food on campus are obviously more at your disposal if you live closer. You would just use the university gym instead of having to find your own gym membership.
My name is Sean Hairston, and I am a 2L at University of Miami School of Law. I live in the South Miami area. There's a variety of different housing options there, and for a 1L, I definitely recommend it. Proximity to school is one of the biggest reasons that I chose the area. I chose it as a 1L, and I'm staying there stay there my 2L year and 3L year. So I'm going to stay there the entire time I'm here. It is a long walk or a short drive to campus. It's only about, I live about a mile and a half from campus. So it's really nice. It's a nice area to be in. It's definitely close to a lot of the malls in the area, the Dadeland Mall. You got a couple of restaurants that you can go to. I think the Gables area and this Ludlam area is probably the premier location, I think, for 1L, just because of the proximity to school. Especially with the 1L classes, you'll be on campus a lot, and you'll want to be able to get to campus relatively quickly if you want to go to the library and study and things of that nature. So I think proximity is really important. The pluses and minuses to the place, like I said, the plus would definitely be proximity and obviously the cost. There's a lot of places that cost a little more than the area, and this is definitely moderately priced. I got a really good deal, and some of the places are also owned by certain individuals, so you have condo areas and things like that that you can have individual landlords. I have a pretty good landlord, and he's been very, very reasonable with things that I've done and things that I needed done, so I definitely recommend that. The only minus, I guess you could say, is that it's not directly beside the campus, so being a mile and a half, you have to walk a couple more steps, so it's easier to drive, but that's pretty much it. And for the price, I don't think you really can beat it. I definitely recommend that in the neighborhood, and it's a really good neighborhood. They're pet friendly in the area that I'm in. I'm not sure if all of them are like that, but it's definitely a good time. So I definitely recommend South Miami to live in for 1L, and that's pretty much it. Thanks.
Hi everyone, my name is Jared. I'm a 3L here at I live in the Brickell area. Like I said, I'm an upper level student. Typically upper level students will move downtown towards Brickell after their 1L year. Most 1Ls usually tend to stay down around the university just because they don't want to have to deal with the commute in the morning. It takes about 20 minutes to drive in, usually in the morning from Brickell, but oftentimes you may run into a little traffic. However, when you live in Brickell, you also have the option to ride the metro rail, which usually takes you about 15 minutes from the Brickell stop. A couple of the advantages of living in Brickell are that you're in more of a downtown type setting. You can usually walk to most of the bars, restaurants. There's more of a vibrant nightlife down there. Also, you're about 15 minutes from South Beach, right there by American Airlines Arena. Usually, most of the stuff that you're going to be doing is within walking distance. Like I said, you can walk to Bayside Mall. You can also walk when you're going out on the weekends. You usually don't have to take a cab or have somebody drive. So that's another advantage of living down there as well.
Hi, my name is Catherine, and I'm a 3L at the School of Law. I lived in the Dadeland area while a student here, and so I'd like to tell you about some of the great features of the area. There's the Dadeland station, which has Target, Best Buy, Bed Bath & Beyond, and Michael's, and there's also some cool places to eat there as well. There's also the Dadeland Mall, which has great shops. There's the Limited, Macy's, BB, lots of places where people like to shop. And there's also downtown Dadeland, where you can go to buy furniture at West Elm or Rooms to Go. You can go eat at Lime or Stir Moon. And there's also other places like a yoga studio where you can go hang out with some friends and have a good time. Another great feature is that there's the metro station on 88th Street, and you can take the metro directly to school. So if you don't really want to take your own car back and forth, you have that option available to you as well. I would really recommend it for 1Ls who are kind of trying to get used to the area and don't want to be too far from school, but would also like to live somewhere that's a little bit more cost effective than living in Brickell, which can cost a little bit more. So if you're interested in living off campus but staying relatively close, I definitely recommend the Dadeland area.